so many horrific accusations, though, involving young singers, like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
I've found very intricate and mind-blowing satanic rituals and sacrifices out there.
What?
Oh, yeah.
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're
He
out.
got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
You know, Justin Bieber had a post the other day on his Instagram talking about all the drugs that he did when he was younger and how much it fucked him up. And now he's got a relationship with the Lord, and he's got, you know, he's married, and he's trying to be a normal person.
Yeah.
But he's struggling with the fact that he was insanely famous when he was a kid.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So.
You know, I've had conversations with people about it, and it's like, Jesus, like just trying to get the documents, like when they're trying to get the Epstein files, like they're the state of New York. One of the district attorneys was hiding documents that have forced them to give documents. I think there's so many fucking powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied. Air quotes, partied. And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh, yeah.
Trials. Wild.
Why don't they air it the same way they aired the coverage that
Johnny
Johnny Depp got?
I know. Why don't they? I don't know. They should. The ratings would be amazing.
Unreal.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you air that?
What's going to happen, though, you think?
Well, Diddy's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. I think he's probably going to get.
Think he's innocent, though?
I don't know. I don't even think it matters. I mean, it's a lot of it is.
But then it's just another Epstein. It's another Ghislaine Maxwell, where somebody gets indicted and nobody else indicted for trafficking kids to
right
no
to no.
They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like, what kind of fucking asshole do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what pedophiles do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young kids.
Months ago, I was really struggling mentally and emotionally, and just there was so many things that were adding up, and I wasn't able to enjoy any of the things that I owned.
That stuff's not gonna matter to you.
None of the actual things did anything because I was so hurt and I was so confused and I was so sick, and there was all these things, and I was like, I can't, there's like, you just can't, like you said, you can't enjoy the actual physical, tangible, like, things that money offers, right? Like, it really had to come from within. So that's.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh?
No,
you ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right.
My
Okay.
number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
The studio air was heavy, and Joe Rogan's face told the story before he even spoke. His eyes narrowed, his voice shaking with disbelief. He leaned into the mic and said, "I can't believe what I'm hearing about Diddy. I've heard a lot of disturbing things over the years, but this is on another level." Justin Bieber, just a kid at the time, caught up in what people are now calling satanic rituals connected to Diddy. It makes my blood boil. From the very start, Rogan's voice was filled with rage. He didn't ease into it. He didn't set it up with a joke. He went straight for the heart of it. This isn't just some celebrity gossip. This is dark. This is about control. This is about power. And the fact that Justin Bieber, one of the biggest stars in the world, was dragged into Diddy's twisted rituals makes me furious. Because this wasn't about music, this wasn't about mentorship, this was about domination. Joe's words hit like thunder as he described how Diddy's empire had always been surrounded by whispers, rumors of strange gatherings, bizarre practices, and an obsession with control that went beyond business. We all laughed when people talked about satanic rituals in Hollywood, Rogan shouted. We all thought it was some conspiracy nonsense. But now the pieces are falling into place. The testimonies, the reports, the connections, they all point to the same thing. Diddy wasn't just hosting parties, he was orchestrating rituals, and Justin Bieber was right in the middle of it. The fury in Joe's voice grew sharper as he explained what this meant. Justin was just a teenager, man, a kid. He should have been in studios making music, out on stage living his dream. Instead, he's being pulled into these insane dark ceremonies that Diddy was obsessed with. And you expect me to believe nobody in the industry knew. Give me a break. They all knew. They all looked the other way. Rogan didn't just attack Diddy, he attacked the culture of silence. This is why I can't stand the music industry. He roared. Because people like Diddy get worshipped as legends when in reality they're running cult-like rituals behind closed doors, and kids like Justin end up paying the price. You can't convince me that this is mentorship. It's manipulation. It's evil.
We had seen these videos of Justin Bieber being handed over to him at age 15. Great job. Great job. And for his weekend with Diddy camp. I mean, we don't know, but it certainly looks like Justin Bieber is still suffering the fallout from whatever happened to him as he was coming up the ranks of the music world. It really doesn't seem worth it. I mean, I'd love to hear more from his camp about what's real, because it's clear he's suffering. We just don't know from what. And what mother out there would give her 15-year-old boy over to a grown man who's in the rap industry for a weekend with Diddy camp without other adult supervision?
What's going on with you guys? Are you working together?
I'm not. I mean, I think that we become friends in a strange way, you know.
Like Robin Big.
Yeah. It's like exactly.
I'm big and you're Robin.
Yeah. No, I mean, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, you know, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person besides his talent. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know.
If so, bump somebody. All right, thanks. I love you, man. I got my MTV out. Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
Rogan leaned back in his chair, shaking his head as if trying to process the weight of it all. You know what makes this worse, he said, his tone lower but full of venom? Justin wasn't just some random kid Diddy found. He was already a star. He had talent. He had fans all over the world. He didn't need Diddy's so-called mentorship, but Diddy made sure he got close anyway. That's what predators of power do. They target people at their most vulnerable moments, when they're young and still figuring out who to trust. And that's exactly what happened here. The more Rogan talked, the more he pieced together the disturbing puzzle. Think about the symbolism, the imagery, the obsession with these rituals that people in the industry kept brushing off as harmless theatrics. They weren't harmless. They were calculated. And if Justin was pulled into them, even once, that means his entire reality at that age was being shaped by fear, confusion, and manipulation. That's not just wrong, it's monstrous. The studio fell silent as Rogan's words echoed. He was no longer speaking like a comedian or even a commentator. He was speaking like someone who had seen too much of how the entertainment machine works. I'm telling you, this is the kind of thing that leaves scars you don't see. People wonder why Justin struggled later in his career, why he broke down, why he wanted out of the spotlight. Well, here's your answer. When you've been dragged into rituals meant to strip away your identity, your confidence, your spirit, you never fully recover from that. Joe then turned his attention directly back to Diddy. His voice rose with fire again. And Diddy, sitting there like some self-appointed king of the industry, he had the nerve to act like he was this guiding figure, number. He wasn't guiding anyone. He was trapping them. He was pulling them into something far darker than music, far more destructive than any bad business deal. And he thought nobody would ever talk about it. Well, guess what? Now people are talking, and the truth is coming out. For Rogan, this wasn't just about exposing one man's actions. It was about tearing down a rotten system. If Diddy gets away with this, if Hollywood shrugs this off as just another scandal, then what kind of message does that send? It tells every young artist that their talent doesn't protect them, their fans don't protect them, their fame doesn't protect them, because the system protects the powerful, not the innocent. And that's why I can't shut up about this. This is bigger than Diddy. This is about every single gatekeeper in this industry who allowed him to operate unchecked for decades. His hands gripped the table as he leaned forward again, voice trembling with both rage and sorrow. You want to talk about rituals? Here's the real ritual. It's the endless cycle of power protecting itself. Diddy wasn't acting alone. People helped him, people covered for him, and they did it because they cared more about money, fame, and influence than they did about a kid's well-being. That's the real satanic ritual of Hollywood, the worship of power at the expense of everything else. Rogan's frustration only grew the longer he reflected on the story. He pointed out how dangerous it was that the music industry ignored warning signs for years. People always act shocked when someone finally comes forward, he said, his eyes narrowing. But the truth is, the signs were there all along. The strange parties, the secrecy, the obsession with control, none of this was new. It's been whispered about for years, and yet no one had the guts to stand up and say it out loud. Why? Because Diddy had money, he had connections, and he had leverage. He paused for a moment, his voice dropping to a whisper that somehow carried more power than shouting. And while everyone was looking the other way, Justin Bieber was caught in the middle. He was just a kid who wanted to sing, who wanted to perform. He wasn't asking to be dragged into rituals or forced into situations he didn't understand. But Diddy didn't care. Diddy only cared about what Justin represented. A fresh face he could mold, control, and exploit to keep feeding his own image. Rogan shook his head, disbelief etched across his face. You know what really breaks me? The fact that Justin probably didn't even know what he was walking into at first. Imagine thinking you're going to hang out with a mentor, someone older who's supposed to show you the ropes of the industry. And instead, you're standing in the middle of some dark ritual, surrounded by people who are smiling like it's all normal. That's not mentorship. That's betrayal. His co-host sat in stunned silence, but Rogan pressed on. And what makes it worse is that these rituals weren't just random. They were designed to test loyalty, to break someone down, to see how far they could be pushed before they snapped. That's the real evil of it. It wasn't about the music, it wasn't about building Justin's career, it was about power. Diddy wanted to prove that he could bend anyone, even someone as talented and beloved as Justin Bieber, to his will. Rogan's voice cracked slightly as he leaned closer to the microphone. And for Justin, the cost of that kind of betrayal is unimaginable. We've seen the interviews where he looks lost. We've seen the moments where he broke down on stage, where he looked like he couldn't carry the weight anymore. And now, knowing what was going on behind the scenes, it all makes sense. Those weren't just growing pains or stress from fame. Those were the scars of being pulled into something he never should have been part of. He sighed deeply, the weight of his words heavy in the room. Diddy's name might still carry clout in some circles, but to me, it's done. It's over. Because when you hear how deep this goes, how deliberate it all was, you realize there's no defending him, not anymore. And the fact that Justin had to carry that burden for so long without anyone standing up for him, it's unforgivable. Rogan's tone sharpened as he pressed further. The thing about Diddy is that he thought no one would ever connect the dots. He believed he was untouchable, protected by his fame and his network. But what he didn't count on was the truth finding its way out. And now, hearing Justin's side, you realize this wasn't just a bad decision or one shady night, it was a pattern. It was Diddy using ritual and fear as tools to control, to dominate, to break down the very people he claimed to mentor. And that's the real crime here. Because when you take someone young and bright like Justin and twist their world into something unrecognizable, you're not just hurting them, you're poisoning the culture around them.